Air week 6 tour. We're starting from within the space because that's wet cement right there. It's also pouring outside right now. That helps make this handicap accessible. There's a lot that's been going on. There's a lot of cleaning that's about to be done. I'm backing into the corner here so you can see what's happening. This is the blue strip that's going to be on the floor, that is on the floor. It's like a subtle cue to let people know where to walk. Order taking is all happening over here. And that's not going to stay there. That's going to move. The TVs have been installed. So you can see an aluminum frame right now. It's going to be painted so it'll be like the wall. But it needs to be able to come out so that we can get behind them to do work. This was a little detail. It's one of these things I think I've a little bit of a hassle for Frank and the team, but there was a whole bunch of stuff installed in this wall over here. So I had them put this here and then center the thermostat right here. And then we moved, this plate used to be over here and we moved it over there. There's small differences, but I think in the end, that wall will look a lot more clean. They were just sort of scattered at random around it. And we need to put shelving on that wall as well, and I think it would have gotten in the way of the shelving. You can see here we're waiting for the panels there, to go on there. These are all the outlets for the equipment that goes behind. And they did some fun stuff with this guy. The power cord is coming out this side. We're not using this the way that the manufacturer intended. So they did some clever things and rewired it so the wire comes out that side so they could face us the way we want. And this is new and different than what we've had in the past restaurants. It's got doors on both sides, so we can put a keg into it from the back, which is cool. In our previous setups, we couldn't do that. We could only put a keg in from the front, which was a little awkward at times. This is a bunch of the woolly wall, the woolly pockets, which is what we're using for the living wall over here, waiting to go in. And at this point, a lot of things have been bolted down. So this is going to receive our condiment station. And at this restaurant, we're trying something new. We're going to do that Chemtops, that white material we use for tables. We're going to use that for this condiment area. So that's going to come and set here. And you can see they've gone ahead and bolted that into the ground, so it's really sturdy. You can also see this is the baseboard that was wood a few tours ago, and now it's white and it's been installed. And my architects came in and looked at the baseboard that I had everyone paint white and said, oh, that's going to scuff up. And they think that it creates too much more contrast than we want between the walls and the floor. I agree, I think they're right. So we're going to paint that. So this is all going to get repainted. It's going to get painted silver. And it's sort of a funny thing to do, but I feel like it's going to have to be repainted at some point. We might as well do it now when it's easier to do. Here we have the area. This is like a funny little building support, and it's been encased now. I think it looks pretty clean. And here we have louvers for the ventilation. You can see those on the front as well. And a whole bunch of access panels to get to all the equipment up here, because there's a lot of equipment up here. The hood is now in place, which is really exciting. They put the ductwork all goes in the top of the hood, and then they put up this shroud, basically just to cover it, I think. I'm not totally sure, but I think they just do that for aesthetics. And walking back here, you can see our counter, and we now have some stools in place. So they're a little dusty, but these are like a faux leather upholstered seat, which is new for us. We hadn't done that before. Hoping that makes it feel a little more welcoming and warm to customers. And I also wanted to avoid distracting from the wood here. We had wood seats in the past, and this time we're trying to make the only wood in here be the live edge. Coming to the back, so you can see our other active display wall here. These are 2 prep tables just out of the way. They installed the bench seating here, which is pretty exciting. I think it's looking really good. Yeah, there's a generous amount of room with these seats. Some of the seats are a little tighter in here, but I think this will be a really nice place for people to sit down. And that's the same upholstered stools. There's not much light in here. I'm just going to point out, oh, there it goes. Well, we're dealing with this mop sink. And the original plan was a mop closet, but I guess it was expensive, and my contractor suggested another approach. So instead we have the stainless steel, and now this bin doesn't fit in that space as well as we would have liked. So they're doing their best to work with it and make it fit. And then back here, this is funny. There needs to be indirect drains that you have access to. So there's these funny little access panels, and I don't understand that exactly. It's some sort of plumbing code issue. And we're going to have shelving back in here. This is the closest we have to a back of house in this restaurant. We have a little bit of shelving in this back space, which was created next to the mop closet behind the bathrooms. And we'll come back to look at the kitchen in a few minutes. This is still waiting to be replaced. It's going to be stainless. It's going to be a bit of a splash guard coming up there. So we have the bathrooms coming along. Oh, there's the light. So you can see this is the ADA accessible bathroom. There's the hand dryer. So it's getting there. Everything's coming along. We have no real power. This is just temporary power, and this has been an issue for us. And it has to do with coordination with the building and the landlords. This bathroom had a problem. They changed the toilet, and when they changed it, the door couldn't open. So they had to change the door. So I think it's all fixed now. The door actually opens now. And over here, we have a small closet. I'm not going to open it right now, but we have a small closet to store things. So that's all coming along. I like these. I think are so fun. It looks like a goose or something with those eyes. But that's some sort of sensors. I was asking what they are. I didn't get a great answer, but some sort of sensors. And the power problem has been an issue. So electricity and gas have both been issues for us. Oh, here's another little thing that happened. This was installed up here, and it was too high for ADA, so they had to get a new door and have it installed down here, and they had to replace. You can see that's left over from having started out with the wrong one, and then it's patched, and now we'll be using that. So the gas and power are delaying our open. We were expecting to open next week, but we're going to have to wait a little longer. I think we're looking now at the 12th of December as our open date, and that has to do with this power and gas issues, which we don't have a whole lot of control of. So here we have our 4-bay sink, and this box here has they fixed the screw heads, which is really nice. This box has a grease trap under it. I think we might be able to see into the side a little bit. So there's this big grease trap, and in this building we can't dig into the floor at all, so this giant grease trap needs to go next to our sink. And this is a hand wash sink. The health inspector wanted a hand wash sink right next to the dishwashing sink. So this originally was like 6 feet that way, but we had to move one over here. And this is a stainless steel surface here, it just has a film on it. So that'll be a hand washing area, and there'll be racks here for dishes as well. Then we have our refrigeration here. This is a true reach-in unit. That's the primary refrigeration in the space. Those giant signs have to go on the grease trap by some code. Over here we have some shelving behind the counter. Under there is where we put bins for the containers that we receive from the hub where we do a lot of our larger, heavier prep. And those bins then that we get the food in, we send back to the hub. So that's the area is meant for storing those. These are our sandwich stations. Right here we have our vegetable sink, and this had a similar sort of awkward situation where we had the grease trap that had to go down below the sink. And so Frank and his team had to do something clever here to mount the sink to the wall. And then they're going to have to do something else to put the fry cutter over this, because we cut our French fries over the sink. So they're going to figure that out. And here we have it's like a drawer unit, and we use this for our falafel batter and our eggplant that are going to be fried. And then up top we have the basket that we salt the French fries in. There you got fryers, this hood above, and we've oven, which is an electric oven for us, which we started using for the first time in Burlington. It's because of some Massachusetts regulations that don't allow the Moffett gas oven in Massachusetts, because Moffett hasn't paid Massachusetts for a certificate, but it doesn't apply to the electric oven, so we've switched from gas to electric. And then Frank and his team opened this space up under here, which is really cool. So we're going to have racks on rollers, racks of bread that slide right in under that oven that we can grab and put it right into the oven, which will work really well. It's a lot of space efficiency things here. This is ice machine, so this is new for us. It's a little teeny ice machine, and that's what we'll be using for drinks. And then we've made a little custom table that goes on top of that, and this countertop holds our induction burners. So we use these for warming and heating. And there's some little shelving space in there. And we have a hand wash sink here, which was originally over there, but got moved here because the health department wanted it like within 10 feet of the drink area. So this then becomes the drink area. So we've come full circle on the tour, and here's where we'll be standing when we're making coffee and things like that. So that's where it is right now. A lot of work going on. Next week, most of this will wrap up. The following week will be inspections. We should have our power and gas next week, and then we'll be opening. Stay tuned. I'll give another couple of videos before we're done.